All right, everybody, what is good for June 28th, 2022? My pretty babies, y'all are checking out a new Wrestling with the Topics. Lee and Tammy Sanders here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. A few days away from the 4th of July holiday. Families have already pretty much hopped in their fucking car or hopped on that train or that airplane, and they are already traveling to go be with their loved ones. I would imagine if the roads have not become congested just yet, I would imagine probably no later than Thursday.
Thursday is when they'll start getting real crazy.
Yeah.
Usually when it's a 4-day weekend or something like that. Usually late Wednesday night, Thursday, people are headed, to wherever they may roam, for their holiday season, for that little bit of a vacation. But yes, usually Thursday, that's when traffic starts to just get to be a pain in the butt. And then at that point, you just kind of want to get where you're going and stay there.
I know, right? I'll say this. I've been itching to do more traveling, but I'm still being a little bit mindful of these times that we're in with the pandemic and all. So, yet at the same time, I want to live life. So I'll give you guys a good example. It's kind of related to what I just said, but kind of, all right, so next month, I'm entertaining it because at this point, it's all about how much am I getting paid. So I'm entertaining the idea of being a election worker. Now, I've already submitted my application. I've already gone into the portal. I've done the test. I've passed it. Now they pretty much want me to go in tomorrow, as a matter of fact, get some training, like 2 hours worth of training, and I guess they're going to explain to me a little bit more what I'm going to be doing. Basically, I'm a provisional judge. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know if that means I'll be sitting down counting ballots or what. I don't know what that means. But we're talking about 16 hours these guys want me to work. 16 hours straight. Of course, you're going to get some breaks in between and all that, but we're talking 16 hours straight. So I'm looking at this, I'm going, well, this is new. This is something different. This is a nice change of pace. This is putting me out there interacting with folks. This is putting me in a position where let's shake it up, right? Sometimes it's new to get out of your comfort zone and try something a little different. But where I'm a little bit leery right now is, this isn't Awesome Con, This isn't a Jericho cruise now. We're talking about motherfuckers that probably, they're putting transmitters and shit all up inside people so the government can keep track of you, man. Fucking conspiracy, man. I'm telling you, I wouldn't trust that goddamn COVID booster shot for nothing. So you got that kind of craziness that's going on. I know that's what I'm going to be exposed to. I'm going to be exposed to motherfuckers that are going to be like, excuse me, do you have to cough in my face? Like COVID, and that's all in your mind, man. And, right, so I have all of this, but then at the same time, I'm going, well, is it worth it? Because maybe the money is just right for 16 hours, yeah? Maybe the money is just right. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think is a reasonable, here for your pain and suffering, for the bullshit that you had to deal with today? What do you think would be a fair amount of money to be paid for doing some shit like that? I'm hoping that if we're talking at least $300 and up, I think for that pain and suffering and other bullshit, I think it's probably worth it.
It would be worth it, but it would have to be more than $300 for 16 hours. That's not even minimum wage.
Maurice thinks $600 to $700. I gotta say, I like that number a lot more than $300 fucking.
Oh, well, 600 to 700. Yes, that is reasonable.
600 to 700. I'm. Somebody give me the Donald Duck gift. 600 to 700. I'm doing the Donald Duck gift.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely, I'm definitely right. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, cause now more than ever, to the point what we just talked about, I'm interested more in trying to travel, trying to just do new things, experience new things. But these weird times that we're in right now, it's just, I see some of the shit that's going on right now, and it's just got me shaking my head. And in some instances, I gotta say, I'm downright embarrassed to be an American at times. And yay, $700. Now you talking my language, baby. That's what I like. That's what I like. Give it to me just like that. $700? $700 to deal with people coughing in my fucking face? People pointing in my fucking face? Motherfuckers don't know where the fuck they are and they stink. They smell like shit. People calling me all kinds of fucking names. Yeah, for my pain and suffering for 16 fucking hours, $700 and up. That, now we talking my language. So I don't really think anything interesting has happened since last we were on the air. Of course, I'm being sarcastic with that. I'm being very sarcastic with that. I don't even know where we begin. Sincerely, I really don't know where we begin with this. We're talking about assholes. I guess a good transition. How about the shit that went down with Roe versus Wade by the Supreme Court? I mean, sincerely, it's been a couple of days. I've had time to process everything that went down. I have not spoken about this publicly at length. Just a snapshot of maybe, if you want to give maybe a bird's eye view on just maybe what I was kind of thinking. I did say a little something on Twitter. I just pretty much copied and pasted what I said on Twitter, on YouTube, and all of that, which was basically just heard the verdict. Wifey told me all I can do is slouch in my chair and just sit quietly. And at the same time, say to myself, my God, how the times are changing. And in some cases, not for the better. But that's just my perspective. I've yet to talk to you about this at length. Only thing we both...
I don't think we even really talked about it.
No,
it's just
we
really
haven't.
been...
No, it was just pretty much, this is what went down. And that pretty much was it.
Yeah.
I want to shut up for a little bit. I want to hear a woman's perspective on all of this shit that's pretty much gone down, because at the end of the day, this is all ultimately about the woman. Yeah, look, I agree. It takes two to tango, but where us men are automatically fucking disqualified, the women are the ones that have to carry these pregnancies to full term. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, I know what I'm going to say, but I'm really irrelevant right now. So, honey, the floor is yours. Lay on us how you've taken this news and concerns, if any, for the future and all that good shit.
Well, there's a lot of things that I could truly say about it. When I heard it first go down, I actually was getting the car serviced. And I walked in to the TV room or waiting area, whatever you want to call it. And I said, oh my God. I said, wow. And of course, the person or the woman that was sitting there just thought that, oh, that must just be the inkling I need to go ahead and talk to you about whatever your political views and your views on whatever you just saw on the TV, that's my time. No, I don't really like getting into political and things of that nature with people I don't know. It's just one of the things that I don't particularly like to do, because you really don't know what someone's opinion is. So, my opinion in reference to the overturning of Roe versus Wade, yeah, not a real big fan of it. I think it makes us go backwards. I am more pro-choice than I am pro-life. Don't get me wrong. I still think every human life is valuable. I think in certain situations, in certain scenarios, I think that should be an available option for women. I'm not saying, hey, I had a one-night fling and damn, oops, well, okay, then at that point, carry the baby to term. And there's plenty of people who essentially would love to give that child a good home who can't have kids, and put it up for adoption. But in the case of other things where, God forbid, a woman was raped, do y'all really think she wants to keep that baby? But yet you're taking the choice out of the woman's hands and putting it into the government. Well,
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So there's a thing on Facebook that basically said, so if you're taking away the woman's right to choose, or the woman's right to get an abortion, do you even... So basically they said, well, we should just stop making Viagra because that's also a choice. It's just so much. It really feels, just in the last 3 to 4 years, it just feels like we're going backwards. Not forwards, backwards. And there's so much that so many people fought for, whether it be 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, to get to where we are now, to only feel like we're reverting back to times where, even before I was born. Because I'm sorry, it's a woman's body, it's a woman's choice. It should be there for her when she wants to and needs to make that choice. Now, grant you, yes, people take precautions. You should do it the right way, of course. But there are instances of where you need certain, adjustments and certain things that you have to go through. And I don't know. I don't agree with the idea. I don't agree with the overturn. I just really, again, I think it's the woman's choice. And, the new thing is they're trying to say, okay, well, this is Supreme Court's decision. Then let's go ahead and now go into splitting it into the states. So what if you live in a state where it's not allowed? It's banned. It's in the law in that way. Okay, so you've got women who are going to, as it was in the 60s, I wasn't born then, but I've heard people were trying to kill their babies with coat hangers. People were doing back alley. I know a guy who knows a guy to do this stuff, and not only are you harming the child, but you're harming yourself. And it's just so much that, I don't know, it's just so much that could come from this, that eventually you just have a lot of uncertainty and a lot of women who are up in arms, and as they should be. And to myself in an extent as well, Because again, it really feels like we have our rights that have been stripped away in that former fashion. You know, I get pro-choice, pro-life. Okay. You know, your prerogative. But I don't think a constitutional right should be taken away. I really don't. You know, I think that's taking it way too far. And if I read it correctly, there basically, it seems like the court justices were heavily stacked, you know, by the far right. And, you know, you kind of get what you get there.
That's all you gotta say?
I think so. I mean, you know, no offense, but I just kind of wanted to overview it for you guys. It's not something that I want to truly go into my innermost, deepest feelings on. But I just don't think it's right. I think it's going backwards. And I really feel like it's a woman's choice. And I feel that was stripped away.
Well, first off, Hun, thank you for just giving us a sample, if you even want to call it that, just where you're at, just from a woman's perspective. Because, you know, we've heard so many men that have talked about this. And don't get it wrong. I appreciate the guys that, you know, especially those that are in some type of a relationship, you know, with a woman, or, you know, maybe it really hits close to them because they've seen firsthand with a relative or a close friend. And so, you know, but it's like, hey, it's like the women, it's like, let's follow their lead, you know, let's see what's going on with them and really take our cues from them on this one. I was reminded a couple of things when I had heard the verdict. The very first thing that came to my mind, there was a thesis paper that I had wrote a couple of months ago for my English class. And for this particular assignment, I basically had to, no, it wasn't for my English class. It was for my Foundations of Human Communications class. Did good in that class. I was trying to get an A. I ended up getting a B. B as in boy. I really wanted my A, but it is what it is. But anyway, and for this particular assignment, we had to explain the different ways that communication was established in relaying information, you know, certain scenes, and just using our textbook as source material and everything. And our instructor has said to us we could refer to a movie or we could refer to a TV show, but we had to make sure that as far as citations go, everything was just on point. But she preferred that we went with a movie. Now, this links to what we're talking about at hand, the main subject. Because the movie that I ended up selecting to talk about, doing a thesis statement, preview, all of that, body sections, all of that, I went with the movie. It was an independent film titled Always, Sometimes, Rarely, Never. And this tells the story about I believe at that point, I believe she was a 16-year-old girl. I don't know if she was in Ohio or Idaho, but she was almost somewhere kind of down south somewhat. And she had unfortunately got pregnant. She didn't want to tell her parents about this. Now, you never see her parents, so you don't have that idea, that really good, strong, definitive idea on what's going on in her household. But the fact that she did not want to go to her parents to let them know that she had got pregnant, that kind of yet there is a bit of a hint that she is very fond of her mother. And you're led to the impression that in regards to the dad, either the dad is not in the picture or the dad is a major hard ass. There's definitely clues in there that kind of gives you just a little sample about what's potentially going on with the dad and everything. So she tried to look for an abortion. When she tries to do this abortion, she basically finds out, hey, the only way you're going to be able to do this, you got to have your parents' consent because you're not 18 years of age or older. So she's going, Jesus Christ. Because she goes to this crisis facility where basically, because she thinks that, I think I might have the signs that I'm potentially pregnant. Morning sickness, missed the period, all that. So she did the test and everything. And basically she finds out that, you not only are you pregnant, but by the looks of it, we estimate that you've been pregnant now for probably about 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks. So, in regards to this abortion, she talks to her cousin, and the cousin is saying to her, hey, she's showing empathy and sympathy to her cousin. And she's saying to her, well, what do you want to do? What would not necessarily make you happy, but what do you want to do in regards to this baby? What do you feel is best for you and this baby? Have you decided? And she's like, I just can't do this right now. I just can't. I got to get an abortion, but I can't get my parents involved. So she says, okay, well, the cousin that is, she says, okay, well, let's see if there's some type of way we can get you this abortion. So it turns out up in New York, you could get an abortion. You didn't have to get parents involved. So now the dilemma is, well, how the hell are we going to be able to get to New York, with what money? The cousin during this movie goes above and beyond to assist her cousin in getting this abortion. Okay? Great fucking movie. And it really, really, let me tell you how much of a profound impact that movie had on me, and I would highly recommend you go out of your way and check it out. That movie, first time I came across it, was on the Jericho cruise. And it was one of those nights I was loaded up with energy. I probably was just done seeing Jericho, Quarantine, and all that, because sometimes they would have like these little late shows and everything. Girls be dancing, all that cool shit. And I remember just being so fucking wired. Tams was knocked out. I said, okay, well, let me see if I can find something remotely decent on the telly. And I came across that movie. I had probably missed the first probably 10, 15 minutes of the movie. But it had such a profound impact on me. I remember next day, I was telling Tammy about the movie. And that movie has stuck with me ever since, right down to the point when I had got that assignment. It really gives you a, wow, I didn't know that's just some of the shit that some of the women be going through in regards to this, obviously with today's generation, we've had the discussions when we were younger, hey, it's very important, protection, you never know, stuff might happen, and you want to make sure that you don't fucking get somebody pregnant, especially if you're not ready. Everybody at some point has had the talk. Now, me, unfortunately, I never got the talk as a man. I never got the talk. Okay? I did some fucked up shit in my time. I remember there was one chick I was dating. I was in college, the first rodeo. There was this girl I was dating. It was a blind date, the way it was set up. I didn't think she was that attractive. Um, Yet I had decided, well, maybe the sex is good. Tried the sex with her a couple of times. It, wasn't that good. Like, so you don't look like you said you did. So that's strike number one. The sex isn't good. So strike number two. Your personality totally sucks. You're out. Um, and I remember how she took it pretty hard. But I remember she said to me, this is one of two things that still haunt me to this day, and it ties into everything that we just talked about, that we're talking about right now. I remember she said to me, I think I might be pregnant. And I said to her, well, you got to do something about it. And she's like, and what does that mean? I was like, well, I'm not ready to be no dad. You need to do something about it. You need to take care of it. And, ooh, man. See, back then, young man, yeah, what's the old saying? Young man is a fool, becomes a wise old man or whatever the term is, right? So, young, arrogant, cocky Lee in his fucking, 21, 22, just didn't give a fuck. Fuck everybody, it's all about me. That's pretty much how I was rolling back then. So, she didn't like when I said that. And I'll never forget that one of the last conversations I had with her, she said to me, after I had asked, hey, did you take care of it? Did you, and I don't know if maybe she was doing that as a way to try to continue to have me be wrapped around her finger. Because there were just some girls I dated back then. I was, you've seen pictures of how I looked when I was, a teenager. I looked, cute. I looked okay. I looked handsome. And for some girls, whoa, what a great catch. Especially if, we're talking about somebody that has very low self-esteem and, wow, look at this person. What a great catch. So I don't know if maybe she was saying all that to bait me or what. But I remember one thing that she said to me that still haunts me to this very day is, if I were pregnant, I would not tell you. Whether or not I had an abortion, I would not tell you. That was the last conversation I had. So I remember that was just kind of, once in a blue moon, I think about, do I have a child running around from that brief little encounter that was going on? Then I think about, so I just gave you one example of me basically saying, kill that kid. I'm not proud of that. I'm 41 years of age. I did that shit when I was 21, 22. Some people could say, you were young, yeah. I'm not gonna say I didn't know any better. I would definitely say there's always a choice. And I reflect on it now. I handled that totally fucking wrong. I was a piece of shit. I'll be honest. If you guys won't say it, I'll say it. I was a piece of shit. So that's one example of... Now look at the progression as an individual. There was a woman I dated right before Tams. She had 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. She was cool as fuck. She was a single mom. She was holding it down. At this point, so now we're fast forwarding. I think around that time, I was 30. I was 30. And me and her, we were friends prior to us actually dating. We were friends for probably 3 years. So I forgot how we ended up knowing each other, but we said, well, we've tried with other people, and well, let's see what's up with us. So we went ahead and we explored that and everything. I tried to get along with her kids, but when you're in a particular relationship where the kids let it be known to you, you are not my daddy. I don't have to listen to you because you're not my real daddy. When you got that pushback from the kids, my God, it doesn't matter what the fuck you do to break bread with them. And I used to do all kinds of nice shit for the kids. Every time I would come up, we would go to McDonald's, and my God, just meals for us, for the kids. I was dropping probably about, I was probably dropping about 40, maybe $50, right? And then we go to the grocery store. I was dropping a little, I was trying to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, they like that toy, huh? Well, go ahead and get that. Like I was trying to, nothing that I did,
Mm-hmm.
nothing was working with the kids. So that's strike number one. Strike number two, every time I was trying to see this woman, something was always going down. Something was always going down. Not saying she was lying, because she wasn't. It was just she was in so many directions that as much as she might have wanted to entertain the idea of a relationship, her plate was already full as it was with such young kids. We're talking about kids that were all under 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Actually, no, under 7. Oldest was 7, and then you had like a 5, and then the other one was 3. Right? So you're dealing with some young ass kids, right? So strike number 2 is like whenever I wanted to see her and all. Strike number 2. Strike number 3 was basically, okay, well, where I am in my life, where I'm trying to be, and where you are, it's not quite matching up. And that's a lot for a young guy who has no kids of his own yet. At that point, that's asking a lot for that guy to come in there and, okay, this is a package deal. It's not just her you're getting. You're automatically getting her 3 kids. You're getting her mom who lives there. You're getting her sister who visits practically like every fucking day, bringing her kids. That's an entirely different story, but what a terrible mom she was. I said, man, I can't do this. So I'm thinking once this particular relationship is over, and I just stopped communicating. She didn't make the effort. I didn't, to the point, once me and Tam started dating, she's like, oh, so you've moved on. You're now dating somebody else? And I told her straight. I was honest with her. I said, look, this is what's up. Somehow we had continued to remain friends. Now here's the punchline. There's always a reason why I tell these stories. But you need to see the evolution of where I was at 21 going up to now at this point, once I get this bombshell, which was, how old was I when I got that bombshell? Maybe 33, 34 when I got the bombshell by her. A little later, a little older than that. I wasn't that old yet.
If you were between 30 and 31.
30 and 31. So fast forward. Me and Tams are dating. very serious, and everything between us. I have this casual conversation with this particular ex. And she says to me, the reason why you didn't hear from me for almost 3 weeks was because I was pregnant with your child. And I wasn't sure how you would handle it. I wasn't sure if you would embrace this child or what. And I needed to find time to try to get the courage to tell you what was going on. Once, you told me you were in a new relationship, it was then I had decided, okay, well, I know what I need to do. I'll let you fill in the blank. I can't tell you how upset that made me. Now, some of you could say, wow, that's karma coming back to bite you in the ass, Lee, because look at where you were at 21. Look how you handled that, and now fast forward. Some could look at it as that. You probably would be accurate. You might be on something. That bothers me to this very day, because although I respect the fact that that was her body, it's her choice, I would have loved the right to say, well, look, this is my child too. And you afforded the luxury of your other baby daddies and you can't put me in a position where you give me an option to decide whether or not I want to see this pregnancy to its full term, that I want to be around when this kid is born, that I will live up to my responsibilities. And look, if push comes to shove, if three's enough for you, I'll gladly full custody. And when the kid gets older, at least put me in that kind of position. That bothers me to this very day. So,
well, it gets better, guys. So what he left out was, guess when she told him this.
I didn't forget that, but go ahead.
So she decides, so basically it was this particular day, I was actually out with my dad. I get home to a completely different man than when I left. So guys, this was actually on Father's Day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That little bombshell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, obviously it's, yes, it is your body, your choice. But in the gist of things,
yeah,
I've always had that mindset that, you owe it to the other party.
Right.
To say something.
Right. So, but let me get back on this, because I don't want you guys to lose track of this. So you see my evolution as a human being. You see my evolution from kill the kid to, well, wait a minute here. We're talking about a life, and what the, wait a minute now. Yeah, it's your body. I respect that, but I should have some input in this as well. We got to at least come to some type of terms where ultimately, if it's a decision where, okay, we've looked at the pros, we've looked at the cons, and this is outweighing this more, so we really need to just go in this direction. Okay, well, at least we sat down, at least we talked the shit out, and okay, we're good. Mm-hmm. But to just be blind, and I got to tell you guys, after I had got that bombshell, I could not be friends with her anymore. And I have not talked to her. She tried off and on over the years to keep tabs on me, like little posts on my Facebook. I remember when we got married and we were on our cruise. I wasn't even aware of this, but she was still following my shit on Facebook. And I'm like, last thing I heard was she was married, had a child of her own with this new person. Why the fuck are you following me on social media? You know how disturbing that kind of comes off. Once I found out, and what was the dead giveaway, she had liked one of our wedding pics, but when we went on the Odyssey, she had, and I was like, oh no. Like, once I found out, I was like, oh no. That was it for me. So, I say that as a preface to say this. In regards to Roe versus Wade, and speaking as a person that was in foster care, all these deranged looking people, you've seen these images, you've got these people that's running around and they're like, we'll adopt your baby if you don't want it. It's like, motherfucker. There's like at least 300,000 plus kids in foster care that are looking for a good home. I know. I was one of those foster kids. Oh, I was a smart ass kid too, man. Oh, Lee, you're such a great, bright kid. Oh, you got a bright future ahead of you. I wish I could just take you home right now. Well, you can, What's stopping you? I literally, that was me, word for word. I was like, and I'm like, you can laugh. And I busted him out. I said, this is actually one person I had told when I was in the foster care system. I said, you can laugh. I was like, but I'm being serious. Like, what do you have against me? Like, what? Am I too old? You just can't take me on because it's too much of an expense? Oh, yeah. Well, oh, you're such a smart young boy. You're going to be just fine. There are so many kids in the foster care system. It's not even fucking funny. You know why a majority of those kids are in the foster care system? Because these motherfuckers that are, the Angelina Jolies, the Brad Pitts, and all these other motherfuckers that want to go get kids overseas. Like, motherfucker, we got kids in the U.S. that need a fucking home. What's so special about going to fucking Singapore? To pick up some fucking kid. You want to be a really good fucking Samaritan, it starts on home turf first. We got plenty of kids that, no, I tell you exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. They don't go with typically the kids that are here in the foster care system on U.S. soil because they're too old. Mm-hmm. I can't mold them the way I need to mold them. Mm-hmm. It's like, fuck all that.
And they want a baby.
They want a baby. Plain and simple, they want a fucking baby. Mm-hmm. They want a fucking baby. And that's sad for those kids that are in the foster care system because the odds of that kid coming from out of the foster care system, okay, you're playing roulette. Because if they're not, the older they keep getting, and the longer that they go without that proper forever home and a good set of parents and all of that, their outlook on life, they're going to be a bitter asshole. They are.
It's a very different outcome.
Right. Not everybody is going to be able, from that system, not everybody is going to be able to look at both sides of the coin and say, okay, well, that's the good side. Okay, here's the bad side. Right. Well, now that I know the good and the bad, I'm going this way. Not every foster care system that ended up in jail, the morgue, doing gang activities, you name it, all because they never were able to find that stability going into a forever home. So these motherfuckers that are talking about, oh, well, if you don't want your kid, we'll fucking adopt it. No. Start with what's going on at the foster homes in the U.S., and then we'll go from there, okay? I'm curious how a guy like Titus O'Neil I should have done my research on this already. Maybe you guys can enlighten me. But I'm curious where Titus O'Neil's stand is on this, because Titus O'Neil is the product of a raped victim. His mom was raped. That's how he was conceived. And she had the option to terminate the pregnancy. But she went on ahead and, she said, look, if one bad thing is going, if one good thing is going to come out of this terrible experience, well, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to do my very best to raise this child right. And the rest is history with Titus O'Neil. But yes, Titus O'Neil is the result of a rape.
Let
me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. So there's a couple of different ways that I look at this, but where I stand ultimately, it is you all's right to choose. It is. You should not have to. Sometimes I feel that the government has too much fucking power over individuals.
Agreed.
That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, everybody, we learn this the minute that we go into school. Yay, young. Cause and effect. Hey, what'll happen if I touch this stove? This hot burning stove, right? I mean, are we that fucking lazy and that ignorant as a society? For God fucking sake. We now got nutritional facts on all the carry out food that we fucking go to eat, from McDonald's to Five Guys and up, because, well, gee, I guess we're so stupid as a society in America here that we're just gonna go on a fucking super binge and just calories and carbs and just OD, like the SNL skit with the guys, the Bears, and dude, just Chris Farley's just caving over because he's been eating too many fucking buffalo wings or whatever. I guess we're that fucking incompetent because we're just gonna keep eating. So the government decides, we need to put nutritional facts on this so people know what they're right. Like, do we really need it to almost get to a point where in places like Japan, in Japan, they tell you like, hey, there's only a certain quota you can have for kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, do we really need that type of...
Well, actually...
do we really need that type... To my point, do we really need that type of restriction? Do we really need that type of meddling?
No.
On our personal lives? You're already getting our tax dollars. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're already getting our tax dollars. Everybody that's born, boom, Social Security, right? You're already, okay? So do we really need to also... I just feel that, okay, you know what? This is a bit excessive. That's just me. Whether you are about anti or you're pro, I think we can all be in agreement. Majority of us can be in agreement that, you know what? At the end of the day, this should really be about the woman's choice. She should not be penalized. The doctor, official doctor, that is being approached should not be penalized as well. And if you're gonna act this way with this particular situation, I need that same energy. I need that same consistency for doctors that are abusing Oxycontin prescriptions and all this other shit. I'm looking at Michael Jackson and, I'm thinking about all these weird scenarios that have went down where, you were able to get this because of this. I need the same energy that's being put into shit like this into those respective areas as well, which brings me to this question. Does the government have too much power over us? To my point, this Supreme Court, I don't know how you guys personally feel, but I'm looking at this Supreme Court thing and I'm going, so let me see if I got this straight. Once your ass is appointed Supreme Court justice, that job is yours for life? Mm-hmm. Do you know how out of touch that no, motherfucker. We need to phase that shit out. I'm telling you guys straight up. There needs to be legislation. There needs to be new legislation in place where basically, okay, look, you know what? Instead of it being for life, it needs to be, okay, you've been appointed Supreme Court Justice. The job is yours for the next 15 years. After 15 years, that's it. That's it. I think 15 years, hell, some people would say that's too gracious. Let's go with 2 terms like a president. I'd be okay with that as well, but hey, I'm flexible. 15 years I think is a nice, respectable amount of time. And see, the main reason why I'm saying that is because look at all of these judges. Old judges. All of them. Now you could say to me, well, they were young when they were first appointed. And I would say, within reason, depending on who they are. Like Brett Kavanaugh, he ain't no young man. Brett Kavanaugh ain't no young man. Okay? But my mindset where I am right now is pop culture changes. Life changes. Evolution happens. And I just don't feel that, I just don't feel that the Supreme Court Justice really has their finger on the pulse of where the current culture is right now. That could be just me, folks. I could be totally wrong by that. I know they're supposed to upheld laws and all that, but also at the same time, something like Roe versus Wade, all the other stuff that's going on in this country, and that's what we're gonna home in on. All these other problems that we're having, and this is the one that's on the docket. It just rubs me the wrong way. And then you see the new shit that Clarence Thomas, I'm sorry. Clarence Carter. I stroke it to the east. I stroke it to the west. I stroke it to the one that I love the best. I be stroking. Clarence Carter. But no, did you see the new shit though with Clarence Thomas? Because tell the folks more about that. Because apparently, if I understand this right, and see, this is like some crazy shit. So now that this ruling's gone down, this fucking Supreme Court justice, so out of touch. Oh, we need to go back and we need to look at other cases as well. We need to look at contraception. We need to look at interracial marriages. We need to look at, and I'm just looking at him and I'm going, same-sex marriages. I'm going, now it puts a smile on my face to hear the other justices, they're going, yeah, nigga, you a little too crazy for my taste. And they releasing their own statements. Hey, we he's entitled to his little opinion, but we ain't touching none of those. No. But you hear that. Mm-hmm. One of the first things that clicked in my mind was Loving versus Virginia. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If y'all don't know about Loving versus Virginia, there's a movie that came out, I want to say around 2016, 2017, called Loving. We actually had talked about that movie on an episode of 30 with Lee. It's basically a movie, TV series. We would pick something at random and we would just, talk about it for like 30 minutes at most. And we had reviewed that movie. But basically, Loving tells the story of this white guy that falls in love with this black woman. And I believe it was sometime in the 30s, 40s, 60s. 50s. What was it? 60s. In the 60s? Okay. Sometime around there. And basically, they had decided, okay, let's get married. But back then, interracial couple, it was outlawed. Mm-hmm. Yet somehow there was one state that they went to where their marriage was, they were able to get married. And then
I can't remember what state it was, but obviously it had to be in upper states. But
yeah. And then because I think where they were mainly staying was Virginia. Uh-huh. And then ultimately, they basically went to court, with Virginia. And I won't spoil the movie for you guys, but it was a great case of a love story mixed in with understanding your history.
Mm-hmm.
It left you melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely. I'm not gonna say any more, but go out of your way. It's called Loving. It was from 2016 or 2017. And Enigma is saying that apparently it's on Netflix.
Yes, correct.
Okay, good. Then if it's on Netflix and you guys got Netflix, check it out. You guys will thank me later. But you want to pay attention to that movie because, to the point, everything that this particular Supreme Court justice is talking about. Oh, well, let's go look at this and let's go look at that and all this and all that. And you're just going, motherfucker. First of all, I'm going to call it how I see it. From one black man right here to another. Dude, you forgetting about your people. You forgetting about, right? Let's not forget, this is the same motherfucker that was involved in his own controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But like... Oh man, I don't even want to touch no more of that dude. But that dude, he comes off like a serious turncoat. That's the nicest way I can say that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could say some more foul, fucked up shit, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Not pile on that. The Supreme Court also decided on that they should break the separation of church and schools for prayers. It's too much. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much.
It's just a lot of change, and maybe some of it could essentially be for the better in certain areas, but I'm not sure it is. And in reference to Clarence Thomas,
You were about to say Clarence Carter?
I was just making sure that I was getting the right Clarence. So, but in reference to the Supreme Court judge, it has been talked. There have been talks in reference to him, in reference to his demeanor and how his views are. That he's been kind of an old shoe, so to speak, since he was in law school. So, when you have people who are Supreme Court justices for a long time, you deal with that because even though they are upholding the law and going by the ruling of the Constitution, you also have an area of gray there, which is personal opinion versus, in their own personalities, how they deal with what they've done, so on and so forth. And his views obviously are very, very way back there. Like maybe take it back to like the 50s. It doesn't work. Do you know how many people would be in an absolute uproar for that to even come to play? Dude. And to how much they fought in the last 50 to 70 years for that to change? Ooh.
I don't know. Know.
That's just a whole nother topic for another day that...
Stroke it, Clarence Carter, but don't stroke so fast. If my stuff ain't tight enough, you can stick it up my... Woo! I be stroking. I started it. I got to finish it. So let's liven the mood up a little bit more here. Okay? So I be stroking. See, I got to hear that song now. I'm not going to play it, but I got to hear that song later. So from there, some other interesting stuff. that had went down. Lighthearted note. I see that True Detective got renewed for a 4th season.
Is that the one where Mahershala Ali started it?
Yep. Well, he was in the last season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Him and Steven Dorff, yeah.
Wait a minute. But that seems like that was like 2 years to 4 years ago.
That's about right. Definitely wasn't 2 years ago. It was about 3 to 4 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
So...
Well, see, the way the creator, writer, and all that for that series works, he basically... HBO, they put him in this great position where it's like, hey, no pressure on him. If he wants to do another season, we are totally all ears, whatever he wants to come up with. At the same time, you know, if he doesn't have anything, he can't think of nothing, that's cool. But, yeah, man, the door is open for him anytime he wants to pitch a new season. So,
and you said in reference to that, it is always new casts.
Correct. True Detective, it's always a new cast, but as we've kind of seen, there's a little bit of combination of Easter eggs and other stuff to link back to as a nod to previous detectives. But what's more interesting is who's going to be part of this new cast that's going to be coming up. That's what's making the headlines right now. And apparently, Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster is
interesting.
Yeah, she's also going to be one of the new producers for it as well. And then there's also going to be Callie Reyes from Catch the Fair One. She's also joined the cast as well. So as far as the plot goes, I'm seeing the synopsis for it, and it reads, when the long winter night falls in Ennis, Alaska, the 6 men that operate the Tasala Arctic Research Station vanish without a trace. To solve the case, detectives Liz Danvers, Jodie Foster, and Evangeline Navarro Reyes will have to confront the darkness they carry in themselves and dig into the haunted truths that lie buried under the eternal ice. So, and for those of you that were fans of this series, I will note to you all that Mari Jo Winkler, Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, they will continue to serve as executive producers for the series. So for this particular season as well. So nice to see all those guys are pretty much coming back. Well, look, we saw, not for nothing, but Mahershala Ali. The guy has just been on the roll, and I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do as Blade very soon. It's going to be interesting to see how this much I know about Blade. Apparently his voice was mentioned. If I remember this right, I'll have to rely on you guys. But I think he was somehow referenced at the end of the Eternals movie. If I heard it correctly. Eternals, I'm never going to see that movie. There's just certain things from Marvel. I just go, yeah, nah, you can miss me with that. And that was probably that and Morbius, the Morbius movie. I refuse to see those two. Those two do not look appealing to me whatsoever. But yeah, filming is expected to take place in Iceland. There's no premiere date yet for when it's going to go down. But yeah, Jodie Foster, sign me up, man. Jodie Foster, it doesn't get any better than Jodie Foster.
True.
You know, and just everybody that has been associated with True Detective, it's almost as if they've gotten a second lease on their career within reason.
True.
And Steven Dorff is a excellent example of that, because right after he was done with that show and he pretty much was able to prove, hey, I can still do this. I've cleaned up my act. Because remember, he was... There's a reason why Hollywood didn't touch him for a little bit. Right? And once he proved he was back with a vengeance, what was that show that he had on Fox for a little bit?
Where he played a cop?
Yeah, played a sheriff. He was appointed sheriff for a
remember the name of it.
little small town. It got canceled. I watched maybe 2 episodes, and I could tell it really wasn't going anywhere. He pretty much had played a watered down version of, within reason, what he did on True Detective. That's basically the role in a nutshell. That's the role in a nutshell. So, the thing that I like about True Detective, for those of you that may be a little bit out of the loop on it, True Detective is not one of those series where you gotta watch the very first season to understand what's going on No. You can start anywhere. You can just pick up season 1, or you could pick up season 3. It doesn't matter. It is its own respected arc. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe season 3 of True Detective, I think that was the first time that, or maybe the second time actually, that there was a nod to the previous detectives of old, and Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Because remember, they pretty much were the ones that really had got the ball rolling and everything. So I'm going to be happy to see when that all comes together. But they can take their time putting that together. It's all good. And then tell me about this stuff that went down from earlier today involving old orange orangutan. Because I'm a little bit out of the loop on that one.
So, to be honest with you, I was as well. Until, a couple of news reports. I was actually at the salon earlier, and they had the TV on. So I was like, kind of just listening but not listening.
Yeah.
So I hear that they were talking a little bit about the hearings and so on and so forth with, January the 6th.
Yeah.
And they said that one of the Secret Service, in his detail, he wanted them to drive him to the Capitol. And he refused.
He being orange orangutan?
No, being Secret Service.
So Secret Service refused orange orangutan
to go to the Capitol. And I've heard rumblings that there was a weapon, but more what I heard was that he basically cursed the man out and said, I'm the fucking president. You're going to take me where I want you to take me.
That sounds like, if that was coming from Harrison Ford, that'd be badass, but yeah.
Yeah. But everything that I've heard in reference to the hearings and things like that, it just doesn't sound good for him.
Now, you know what? Now I kind of wish that, if that is the case, if that did go down, now I kind of wish he actually would have, that would have looked like a scene from Joker. Because think about it. Remember at the very end, Joker was dancing in the street, with everybody? That probably would have happened with Orange Orangutan. He just would have been dancing there.
So beautiful, so beautiful. You guys you're really making me feel good. The way you're just destroying your own city, throwing debris everywhere, fucking fellow citizens up. I love it. I fucking love it. Do it. Keep doing it.
I mean, seriously, you can just picture him in that long black fucking trench coat. He's just moving it around, like it's a fucking cape. He's just moving it around.
This is so cool, watching what you people are doing. It's so great to be the president. Oh, yeah.
I remember a couple of words after he had actually lost. And I remember them actually using the words, and I quote, "He's becoming unhinged."
Yeah, he's a lot of things. Unhinged,
Yes,
unhinged for starters, but he's a lot of things.
actually, unhinged is a nice way to put it.
That's a nice way to put it, man. Unhinged. Yeah, he's something. He's something.
And not only that, I heard that 6 people in his inner circle type of deal actually asked for pardons after the 6th.
Yeah, because they knew what the fuck was getting ready to go down. Yeah. God, he's like fucking Phoenix's Joker, and then Heath Ledger's Joker as well. Because remember, Heath Ledger's Joker was like, you know,
Introduce a little anarchy.
you know, that's Orange Orangutan as well. Jesus Christ, Jesus, that's wow. That's wow. Well, anyway, not telling me something I don't already know, because I mean, I'm sure this is like shocking to most people, but it's like, dudes, it's been established for decades how this guy is when he doesn't get his way. Like, what always just takes me off guard is, man, the evidence has always been there, and everybody's been sleeping on it. Like, oh my God, oh he did that, real? Oh my God, and it's like, no, oh my God, this is how he's always been. Welcome. Took you long enough, took you a few decades, but this is how he's always been. Now you know. Right? Now you know. What were you about to ask me?
No, actually, I was going to say, speaking of Joker, have you heard the news that Christian Bale stated that he would be willing to come back as Batman?
I briefly heard about it, but did you read the interview highlights?
I did not.
You did not? Okay, well, if he's willing to come back, I say, first of all, that's probably one of the greatest mysteries that's out there. Why didn't they continue to do work with Christian Bale? Because we as fans were led to the impression that, okay, well, since Christopher Nolan is done with his trilogy, that's basically it, and okay, I guess Christian Bale is going to ride off into the sunset with. That's what we had assumed as fans for many years. And then it turns out, I don't know if it was maybe 2 years ago, but Christian Bale said something along the lines of, no, they never asked me. After the initial trilogy was done and Nolan decided he was done, you know, they never asked me. So it would have been interesting to, what would have happened if Bale's Batman were intertwined there with some of the Zack Snyder stuff. You know, could that truly have worked? Could that have worked? We'll never know.
True.
We'll never know now. All you could do is just imagine. But, you know, just the fact that he's willing to come back. You do know he's involved in the new Thor movie, right? Oh, I won't spoil it for you. But yeah, he's involved in the new Thor movie. So the timing of him being asked about coming back to reprise his role as Batman, you know, it's not a coincidence. You know, it's not a coincidence.
Okay. Well, I was like, oh, well, that's an interesting topic in reference to bringing that up.
Yeah.
When I heard it on the news, I was like, oh, okay. Now, well, it makes sense.
Bale was, don't get me wrong, I will forever appreciate all these guys that have been Bruce Wayne Batman so far. They all have put their respected stamp on it. You know, Michael Keaton, I mean, he pretty much paved the way. I'm eagerly anticipating seeing what he does this second rodeo. Or actually, no, this would be his, wait, let me think now. He did Batman Returns. He was supposed to do Batman Forever, but he dropped out of that. But Affleck still holds the record right now for most Batman appearances.
Wow.
He still holds the record. So I haven't even seen what Patterson did yet as Batman.
Oh, that's true.
I haven't watched it yet. I just got to get a HBO subscription, and I'll be fucking checking it out. But I haven't watched that yet. Seen what he's done, but just a little bit that I've seen from the trailer, looks like he pulled it off pretty good. Looks like he pulled it off pretty good. Robert Pattinson.
That's what I keep hearing.
Looks like he pulled it off pretty good.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm remembering it right. Yeah, Maurice said, Michael backed out when Burton was not involved in Forever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just... And you know what? His timing was great because under Joel Schumacher, we got, butt crack Batman and nipples Batman, and everything was this neon-looking...
Yes.
It just, when I look back on it now, it just had a... I apologize to anybody that might be part of the LGBTQ community, but hopefully you guys can have a hearty laugh and look back and agree with me on this. But when you go back and look at Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, whatever the other one was under Joel Schumacher, them things look like something out of a gay nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
You only thing that
I remember seeing that around that time and going, boy, that's lively.
Only thing that was missing was just the George Michael's music playing in the background, while you're watching Batman fight the bad guys. Just, let's go outside in the sunshine. I know you want to, but you can't say yeah. That was the only thing missing, I think, and it didn't help that you had nipples on the bat suit, right? Yes, ambiguously gay duo. Yes, the ambiguously gay duo. You remember that little SNL skit?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, man! You give me one of those clips, I'm dead, man. I'm fucking chilling. I'm going. Every single time they were doing something that was extremely questionable, you always had the bad guys looking at them speechless, and then they're going, "What are you guys looking at?" Nothing. And yeah, Val Kilmer as Batman. Val Kilmer's Batman was very underrated. His Bruce Wayne was weak, but his Batman was definitely on point. I think his Batman is greatly underrated. And you know what? Not for nothing, but now that we got a chance to see Val Kilmer and Maverick, it just makes you appreciate when my man was at his peak. It just makes you appreciate his body of work as an actor even more. I'm now even more fonder of Eddie, you killing me. It makes me even more fonder of his work, definitely as Batman. I thought he did pretty good as Batman.
Yeah, I actually had a real deep appreciation for his work in his prime. He is one hell of a talent. I remember the movie At First Sight, and I think that really is where I grew to have an appreciation for his talent.
I would have to say Iceman, because that's where it all began for me. I would have to say Iceman. And I felt when I first was introduced to, that was my first introduction to Val Kilmer. So when I saw him as Iceman, I was like, this guy's got a certain look. This guy can be a force to reckon with, for some years to come here. Like I got a good feeling about this guy. And then my God, when he did Jim Morrison, Oliver Stone's Doors movie.
Yeah, he nailed that.
Oh my God. I was like, it's like he was born to be in that role, right? His whole total existence, everything was just like, it was his destiny to, that was the role. Something that doesn't get talked about enough from his catalog, it's an underrated gem, but I felt he was so diverse. Does anybody remember Val Kilmer in The Saint? If you remember Val Kilmer in The Saint, I
remember the movie, but I don't think I saw it.
Saint was a really good movie because that one, and remember, Saint it was based off of the TV series. Remember, there was a TV series of the same name. This was from 1997. And this one, Val Kilmer had played the title character, who's basically, he's like a high-tech thief and master of multiple disguises, and somehow he becomes an anti-hero. That's basically the main plot that I remember. You know, and it's almost kind of reminding you of the TV series The Fugitive from back in the day, when the powers that be are trying to capture him and everything. And just the great multiple disguises this guy goes through, you know, trying to avoid the authorities and all that. That was definitely, of course, Tombstone. You can't forget about Tombstone.
Oh yeah, he did a hell of a job in Tombstone.
I'll be your Huckleberry Hound. Yeah, good shit. It's good shit.
But bring it back a little bit.
He would have been. You know what? He would have been an excellent. Well, let me think about that. I think he would have done pretty good. I go back to Michael Mann's Miami Vice. I think Val would have been a better Sonny Crockett.
A lot of range.
Yeah.
There, a lot of range. So, yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't sold on Colin Farrell as Sonny. Who was Tibbs in that one? Was it Jamie? Was Jamie Foxx Tibbs?
What year did that come out?
That was Michael Mann's Miami Vice. So that would have been maybe mid-2000s, maybe 2008.
Might have been Jamie.
Let me look that up real. Keep talking. Let me look that up.
But in reference to getting it back a little bit to Maverick, if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx. And I remember the
That's
timeline.
what I thought.
I remember the timeline right. But it was 2006.
Oh, okay. But if you guys haven't seen it, please, you owe it to yourself to go see it. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
The work that the actors put into it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, they had to work their own cameras. You know, they actually went through a 3-month training with the Navy. And that was at Tom Cruise's request. That they actually went through a 3-month training in some of their maneuvers to prepare for the film. I mean, and one of their maneuvers was basically ejecting themselves out of the plane.
Wow.
I think, or at least in a ejection strategy. And I heard a few of the actors toss their cookies a couple times.
True story in regards to Val Kilmer. We had a chance to see Val Kilmer at AwesomeCon. This would have been 3 years ago now. Yeah, three years ago. We had a chance to see him, and I could not bear myself to see him because I didn't want to see him in the state that he was in, because I think at that point he might have been a couple of months removed from getting his surgery.
Surgery.
Yeah. I didn't, because remember, so the way they had it set up when it came to Val Kilmer's photo op and autograph signing, right? Now, many of you guys that have been to a convention, you're used to being in the line and you got the black little wall curtains and all that. You're going through here, you're going through there, going through this, and then boom, there you go for your photo op. Whereas when it comes to the autograph signing, you're waiting in line, and as you get closer and closer, oh, hey, there he is. You know, and maybe you can real quick, off the sneakiness, you know, take a picture or whatever. Well, when it came to Val Kilmer and the autograph signings, you had to go through all these multiple walls of cloth. You know.
Oh, yes.
They had him hidden.
Yes, they did.
They had him same way that he was hidden, like most celebrities for the photo ops. He was the only one, and that's what really made him stand out. They had him for his autograph signings hiding behind the cloth walls. And I remember asking a person, hey, did you get an autograph there from Val Kilmer? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, how was and all. They're like, well, they kept saying, no photographs, no photographs. Don't take any photos. Don't try to take any photos off the sly. If we catch you, we're
confiscating your phone.
Yeah, right. We're kicking you out.
Oh, okay.
You ain't gonna get no autograph, and we're just gonna kick you out. Like that's it. No refund. Like you're done. And he was like, how does he look? And like, like he looks kind of rough, man. He look like he's barely hanging on. It was like, So seeing him in Maverick, he looked to be in better spirits than what some people had described in their experience seeing him at AwesomeCon.
Oh yeah, well I think CGI and AI help with that. Number one.
You think they did CGI on him? You don't think they just docked him up with the makeup?
I think some of it was, and I think some of it was makeup.
You're thinking
CGI, like the photo.
Yeah, put that to the side.
Oh, okay, but
when we actually saw him, do you think that was a case of using a little bit of CGI or
maybe a little bit, and then
maybe
more
some
makeup.
Adobe Premiere After Effects post production?
Maybe. Because I remember him being fuller in the face. Because actually, one of my Facebook friends actually did do a photo shoot or the photo op with him at AwesomeCon. And I remember him being fuller in the face, obviously wearing something around the neck, and looking like someone who was sick. So, but in reference to the voice, that was AI.
Really?
Yes.
That wasn't Val's?
Nope.
Not at all? Mm-mm. You know this for a fact?
I read it.
Whoa. So what's going on with his voice?
Well, he doesn't have one.
So he can't talk at all?
No, unless you put this up to his throat, no.
Put what up to his throat?
So basically, most people who've had their throat or their vocal box removed, have to. It's like a microphone that you put up to your, windpipe, and basically the vibrations help you talk.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
man.
Basically that was AI.
Oh. Wow. Damn. I did not, cause see, you know what? I probably would have known that if they covered it on that documentary special Val that's on Amazon. I keep meaning to watch that because it basically covers his entire career going up to when he got the diagnosis and the surgery after. So all this time he's been without a voice box. No, his actual. All this time he's been without. So he'll never be the Val Kilmer. Wow. Wow.
No.
Wow. So he's got a hole in his joint. Yeah,
That's why you see him with this. With basically something covering his neck.
Because in the movie, okay, so at some point, I think by now everybody knows Iceman is in Maverick. We're not going to spoil how it comes about, but Cruz goes to visit Iceman. And when you finally see, they make you wait to see Iceman. Because you're like, oh, come on, what's up? When you finally see Iceman, you're happy as fuck. And, they handled it with the most respect, with great dignity. And when you see him, you're like, oh, okay, looks like he's got a scarf around his neck. Okay, well, that kind of makes sense considering what we hear about the Iceman character, right? You're like, okay, cool. But to know that, no, that's actually on not for fucking decoration. It's on because this is what's going on.
They need to cover that area.
That area.
Yes.
Oh man. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
God is sometimes cruel.
It's
Damn. I didn't. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not know that. I seriously did not know that. That was
yeah.
yeah.
So
Here I am. I'm just like, oh, he's gonna make a comeback. He's gonna be better than ever. Just give him a year or two. You know, he's gonna be. Damn. Okay.
yeah.
That makes me appreciate his body of work even more. Yeah, even more. Because you know he can still go. But I mean, with that type of handicap, that's the fucked up part. You know the man can still go. Damn. Before he passes, I need to see something go down where they just got like all the Batman reunited. That would just be...
Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be epically cool. Put Patterson in there as well. I just want to see... Well, obviously, you can't do Adam West.
Right, but everybody who's still living.
But, you know, right, so you get the next best thing. I that would be pretty badass, just having a nice, cool-ass round table with all those guys.
Oh, that would be
You
interesting.
know what I'm saying? That would be that would be fucking badass. You know, same way that they did a couple of years ago when they had all the captains from Star Trek, you know, pretty much had get together. I would love to see all the Batmen get together and you know, share their fucking stories. You know what I'm saying? That would be epically cool. That'd be epically cool. You could even put Kevin Conley in there as well of the animated series. You could even put him in there as well. Yes, Affleck was a good Batman. I think we all could be in agreement. The worst Batman was Clooney. I think we all could honestly, if we really just take a step back and we really just we all gotta admit, yeah, Clooney is the worst one. He was the worst one. Affleck did damn good. I was more into... See, it's a toss-up for me because if you were to ask me, what was he better at? Was he better at Batman or was he better at Bruce Wayne? I thought he handled it
both very well.
Yeah, if I had to choose.
Yeah.
If I had to choose. Let's see where we are. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll just put our pick out at the same time. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Batman. Ah.
If I had to choose, yes.
Yeah. Well,
now, if I had to choose, it would be Affleck's Batman, Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne.
Ooh, I would agree. I'm thinking about my man Keaton.
I remember it. I remember it a little more vaguely.
I still remember the story, and God, if I could be the director and just do that whole Batman reunion, and Prince was still alive, I would have Prince be sitting in on a particular segment. I would love to have Prince, in his own words, tell the story about how he was trying to be Batman.
Ah, that would be an interesting story.
Because when they reach out to Prince to do the soundtrack for the 1989 movie, you know, Prince was basically, I should be Batman. You're like, well, you know, Prince, you know, we got that covered already. We got Michael Keaton, and, you know, we got Jack Nicholson. I should be Batman. It's like, yeah, you know, we know, you know, the music. You just got to focus on the music. I'm not going to do anything until you make me Batman. All right? and that basically... So they had to go back with him for a little bit, you know.
To get that to...
Yeah,
you know, you kind of really wonder what the breaking point was there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you know that they got what they needed to do it, but... how it came to be would be a real cool story. That's true.
Can you just imagine Prince dressed up as Batman, high ass fucking boots, right? High ass fucking heels and boots, and like, you know, he's beating the shit out of people. You know, he's just that would just
not. I'm pretty sure that's not the look they're going for there.
That would be fucking hilarious, man. That'd be fucking hilarious. So you could do one round table with all the Batman, and then you do another round table where all the villains are talking. That would be pretty badass. All the villains are talking. So you'd get Schwarzenegger in there, you'd get Carey in there, you'd get Nicholson in there. Just all the major villains. Well, sadly, you couldn't do Ledger.
Right.
I mean, man, his stuff has become the stuff of legendary now, right? And it doesn't do justice what little we know from his family about his preparation for that role. Nothing beats hearing it straight from the source. You know what I'm saying? Because man, just the little nuggets of information. That would have just been a great fucking. Tommy Lee was good. Look, Tommy Lee was all right. What was it? He was Two-Face. Tommy Lee was okay. He was okay. But the odd man out, the weakest odd man out would be, sadly, George Clooney. He would be. Right down to the point. Right down to the point, I don't know how Clooney is these days when he reflects on his time as Batman. But I wouldn't be surprised if you were to tell me, yeah, Clooney heard about the round table for the Batman project and he don't want nothing to do. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
I will say for me, besides Clooney, this latest round of Affleck's villain in The Riddler, not my cup of tea.
Oh, not Affleck. That's not Affleck.
Oh, that's not Affleck? Oh,
that's Pattinson.
Is it?
That's Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
Oh.
Robert Pattinson's Batman is the one that has the has the Riddler.
Yeah. Or who's not the one with Patterson, but the one before that?
If you're thinking about Jim Carrey Riddler, that would have been under Val Kilmer.
No, not Jim Carrey Riddler. No, I must be just saying the wrong name.
Sorry. So, which Batman movie are you talking about? First of all,
Affleck's.
Affleck.
And his villain in that. Who was that?
Well, there never was a Ben Affleck Batman. There was supposed to be.
Okay, then who was before Patterson?
Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Remember the very first time that we're introduced to Ben Affleck as Batman, it was Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, and they pretty much everybody would agree the way that they handled the first half of the movie. They had Batman looking at Superman kind of like 9/11. I mean, if you really think about it, that's how they had him looking. Right, that was the first time we were introduced to Ben Affleck, and remember the major villain in that one was dude from the Social Club, that weak ass Lex Luthor.
That's who it is.
Michael.
Yes.
No, not Michael. Yeah.
Him.
That.
So that for me, I did not like that. I thought it was weak. I thought it didn't.
Eisenberg, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yes.
Thank you, Maurice Eisenberg. Yeah.
So I just
true story in regards to his portrayal of Lex Luthor. Here's why. Yeah, that's his bitch ass. Here's why his Lex Luthor was the shittiest of all time. It was the shittiest of all time, and he admitted this. It was the shittiest of all time for multiple reasons. Number one, he never watches back his own performances in movies, which I just think is totally fucking wrong, because you need to know what exactly. If Al Pacino can be at the actor studio and he can watch himself from some movie, react to it and all that other, what makes you right? They don't get no mighty and higher than Al Pacino, right? What makes you so fucking different, right? So that's strike one right there. Secondly, he did not read the script for Batman versus Superman. No, he did not read the script.
Oh my.
he pretty much just got the bullet points of, this character that he was supposed to be portraying. He did not do his research. He didn't read no comics, none of that shit. He didn't even at least look at Smallville, just get some fucking nothing. So he went into that bitch cold.
And it showed every bit of it.
And it showed. And he did admit that, had he read the script, he most likely would have prepared for the role differently. He tried to justify it, as far as his preparation going into it. But yeah, that's why that Lex Luthor portrayal bombed big time. He probably could have, but you know what? It's really hard to. Yeah, that portrayal of Luthor was just so fucking. I don't know what that was. I don't know what they were trying to go for with that, but I'm sorry. If I would have been the director, I'd have been like, "Yo, you come off like you're not prepared, my man. Like, I need you to go." I could have had it my way. I'd have got Michael Rosenbaum. Fuck that. For me, the best Lex Luthor of them all, no particular order. Michael Rosenbaum, Gene Hackman.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Hackman. Kevin Spacey was good too, but Kevin Spacey's disqualified because of that stupid shit that went down with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I'm not even fucking,
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I'm not even touching that. If they were, I have a suggestion. If they were to go about reintroducing Lex Luthor and bringing us a new Lex Luthor, I don't know how you guys personally feel about this. I would like to see Vin Diesel. I think
he could pull it off. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it would take him a minute to really get his bearings and what have you, but I do think he could pull it off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Lex Luthor that I'm envisioning in my mind is definitely somebody that is a geek as a kid that's growing up, very unpopular, picked on, always bullied, never got the girl, and then
didn't have any friends.
And then when he gets older, whatever is going on with him, if he was a fat kid, or he was a skinny ass little thing, just basically as he got older, he pretty much used his money, his wealth, to get himself, he fixed his nose, he did this, he did that, he's training, he's working now, and all that other fucking shit. I would but here's the thing, I would never have my Vin Diesel Lex Luthor. You would never see him shirtless. Because I think that would take away too much if you were to. You understand what I'm saying? I think that would be a little bit too much. All you need to know is the man is in shape. I could see him being kind of cold, very calculating, like he's gonna snap. All the wrongdoing, every person that wronged him growing up, he's got this chip that's on his shoulders, basically, and he's making motherfuckers pay for it. I could see Vin Diesel. I think he could pull it off. I think he would do a far superior job than Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh yeah, with his eyes closed.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if I couldn't get a hold of Vin Diesel, look, we all could be in agreement. It ain't gonna be The Rock.
That's true.
It ain't going to be The Rock. Let me be real with you guys. If I could honestly have it my way, if I could pick anybody from any time, from any era, to be my Lex Luthor right now, hands down, Telly Savalas. What do you think about that one?
Telly Savalas?
Yeah, Telly Savalas as Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah, at one point, yes.
No, that what I just said. If I could pick from any era, I could pluck them and bring them today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Give me Telly Savalas. Yeah.
for sure. That'd be my first choice.
Goddamn fucking Superman! Even the Tessmacher, because like every single time you're watching the episode of Kojak, Cracker, you know, just Tessmacher, you know, just you know, that'd be pretty cool. If I had to rate Luther, Gene Hackman, totally number one. Clancy Brown, a close second. He was also Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. Ah, interesting. That reminds me. I don't know who it was. But last week, somebody had this funny ass post. It was fucking hilarious, right? So they were responding to me on Instagram. They were responding to the episode from Instagram. And what was funny about it was, you guys remember, we talked about Silver Surfer somehow, and I had gave you guys some trivia. I had said, hey, Lawrence Fishburne was the guy that did the voice for Surfer. And I said, hey, he'll always be my Silver Surfer as far as the voice and all that. So I get this comment on Instagram, and the guy goes, Lawrence Fishburne will always not be my Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer from the 1990s, that guy did a great voice. Well, first of all, motherfucker, if you're going to reference somebody, at least put some respect on them and mention their motherfucking name. So the voice actor that did Silver Surfer from the 1998 series, I'm a nut like that on all things Silver Surfer. His name is Paul Assembly. Paul Assembly. Come on now, if you're going to fucking go there, at least know some names. Okay? Thank you. But I saw that comment and I was like, come on, dude. Let's one last thing we can get into before we get ready to wrap it up. Let's talk Washington Commanders. So we got some new drama that's going on over here in the nation's capital, and that concerns one, Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder is making the news once again. And, you know, you see these allegations that's going on here, and it looks as though this congressional investigation into Daniel Snyder, it looks like it's continuing to stifle support for the Commanders trying to get a hold of a new stadium and everything. What's your thoughts about all this crap that's continuing to go down with Daniel Snyder? Do you think there's enough ammo? Do you think everything that's going on right now, you think there's enough ammo that could potentially get this guy out altogether from this team?
They've been trying for so many years. At this point, I'm not sure that's even possible.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. I don't know. It's kind of one of those. I mean, we could really go in depth on it, but it's just kind of one of those. You just got to stop and see where this is going. But it's a black guy over here in the DMV, in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, because you see all this shit that's going on with Snyder. And the only thing that the fans care about, they just want a winning team, man. They don't want to see all this drama that's attached, seeing all these former cheerleaders and other women that are sharing these bad experiences that they had firsthand with Snyder, cases of sexual assault, and it's weird because of all the NFL owners, you can't find one motherfucker that is constantly going to bat for Snyder. No, y'all got him wrong. He's just a misunderstood dude. You guys are you're taking him the wrong way, man. You know, no, really, he's actually a cool fucking dude. Every time you turn around, this dude is involved in some new fucking controversy, and I don't know how this is gonna end. I really don't. You would have thought that with the man being phased out of the day-to-day operations, those responsibilities going to his wife, we wouldn't hear anything with this guy.
No, they still spot him whatever event he's at.
Yeah. Well, no, well, it's not just that. It's not just that, but even though the wife is taking over the day-to-day operations, this man's name is still popping up in controversy. That's just the whole point. This guy is supposed to be in the shadows, and yet somehow he's continuing to be in the spotlight. Right? And the way he's coming off, unless he dies, he's going to continue to have a death grip on this fucking team. And it's unfortunate because they're trying to get a hold of some new facility. There was some property that they had bought in Virginia. I forgot what part. But now you got a bunch of Virginia representatives. They're pretty much saying, yo, given all the new controversy that's going on right now, we really don't want to have anything to do with. You got the D.C. mayor, Muriel Bowser. She's pretty much saying, look, we would love to have, well, she was saying profusely over the years, she would love to see Washington come on back to the RFK Stadium, or maybe they could try to work on building a new stadium for them. But now with this latest controversy that's going on, it's pretty much, yeah, we're not really interested in, So there's a lot of political figures that are looking cockeyed at Snyder right now. There's only but a few that's interested in doing business with the devil. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we get ready to go into the new NFL season, whether or not this is all going to iron itself out. Because right now he's been subpoenaed to appear in court, but he keeps shooting the shit down. He keeps shooting it. He keeps running. Look it up. If you guys want to just catch up on just some of this shit that's going on, because I know for some of you guys, you only get news about maybe like your certain local teams and that's it. And then if you're watching the main shows on ESPN and other stuff, they're only talking but about, so much. I would say definitely look up Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee has had his hands dipped into a little bit of everything. He's been doing a pretty good job documenting everything that's been going on in Washington. You could also look up the WUSA 9 channel on YouTube. Just type in WUSA 9, and they've been on top of it as well. It's just sad. It's just a fucking black guy. Let's see. Anything else want to get into before we get ready to call it?
No, I think we should call it.
We should call it? I think we did pretty good. We did about an hour, 54 minutes of a show. Let me look at the recorder here. I'm seeing an hour 52 for you guys. So, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's call it. I mean, we went wide range, number of topics. I apologize in advance to some of you guys if some of that shit might have been a little bit heavy. But, sometimes real life, you got to talk real life. So, hopefully some of that shit kind of, some of the stories that you heard here tonight, hopefully it kind of, got some of you guys. If you might have felt one way, hopefully it kind of made you, take a step back and just, let me rethink on, some things and all that. But I think that's, as long as we've been doing this show, I think this was probably the first time, maybe in a long, long time, that we really had a in-depth discussion like we just did there to kick things off. So, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how everything pans out this next little bit, though. I can't stress it enough. If you live in the United States and you're seeing a lot of the stuff that's going on, that's why it's so important to get out there and vote. Vote for the people that you feel best represent you and your interests. And this ain't no ad slogan campaign or some bullshit like that. Just, vote for the person that you feel, what? They definitely represent me. They represent my values. And, it all starts locally. It starts at the very bottom, and then you work your way up to the top. That's the only way that real progress is going to be made. You might hear that a lot, and it may sound very redundant. but it's so fucking true. It rings fucking true. And look, it's cool seeing the Billy Armstrongs of Green Day saying, you know, fuck the United States. They got all this bullshit that's going on, and you know, it's great to see people like them take a stand and all that. But you know, hey, other than being a social trend for a couple of days, that really doesn't help generate real positive change in the long haul. You know, if anything, people like Billy Armstrong and others should be literally saying what I'm saying right now, which is get out there, make sure you're doing your part. If you're not feeling some of the shit that's going on. Ooh, good thing from Nick Aldis. I read Nick Aldis say on Twitter, if you want change, tweet less, vote more. I agree. Exactly, Eddie. Exactly. That's how you fucking do it. Maurice, yes. I can be very deep and philosophical if you get me on the right topic. I think those that have had an opportunity to either chat with me off air or just interact with me in person will tell you what you hear of me is literally the same guy you get in person. There is no most people got like a stage persona, and then you meet them in real life and it's like, ooh, I don't do that. What you hear is pretty much very accurate, matches up with what you get in person, you know. But you get me on the right topic, I'll go deep. As long as you guys are there for the ride, you enjoy it, you know, I know when to, okay, that's enough. Let's pump the brakes. Let's go elsewhere. I have a funny story. We'll end it on this note. I told you guys I was going to put Tammy on the spot. Hey, Tams. You remember the story about Will Hobbs on the cruise?
Is that the one?
Speaking to the mic there.
Is that the person that you saw and the persona, his character didn't match up to the person?
So, example, what happened with Will Hobbs?
Oh, he acted like he didn't know nobody? Is that the one?
Yeah, what happened?
So, basically, he was on the Jericho cruise, and he came in, you know, all big and bad, and this was in the food court. And then after that, he didn't want to speak to anybody.
Nope. That wasn't it. Nope.
Okay, then,
nope. Yeah, I can't believe you forgot the story. Oh my God. I told them that you would remember the story verbatim less than 24 hours ago. Remember, I had carried food into the elevator.
Yeah.
And Will Hobbs got on the elevator with me.
Oh, yeah, and he didn't help you or anything?
I had all that food in my hand, and I said to him, hey, man, can you press 9 for me? And he goes, oh, shit, this is going up. And he hopped off the elevator. I can't believe you forgot that story.
I forgot that.
I'm looking at tabs. I'm going, wait a minute. Which wrestler was an asshole in the food court? Like, who are you thinking of? like, that's news to me. The only asshole I remember from the Jericho cruise was a dumbass dude that drank way too much alcohol, and he was throwing shit on the floor. He was cursing in Spanish. It was really, really fucking bad, yo. But that's it on that note. All right, so I helped you guys out. I rounded this out to 2 solid hours. That's going to do it. She's the beautiful and the lovely Tammy. Lee Sanders here. Thank you guys so much for representing, checking this out, be it live or you're going to be checking it out for on demand and on the downloads. And until next go around, wishing all y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. And we'll catch you guys next go around. Adios, y'all.
Bye-bye.